Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. My name is Tanya for those of you that are new here, and I'm a watercolor and acrylic artist. So spring is here, well, almost here. It feels like it outside anyways, and I felt like painting a little bunny for you in watercolor. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so to make the little rabbit, I have my watercolor paper. I have a pencil. I have a couple different size brushes here. I'll let you know what size I'm using as I'm going along. I've got my Winsor Newton watercolors and my paper towel. All right, so I kind of sketched this little rabbit out already just to save us some time. But you can look up any image you want on Google or Pinterest or whatever. And I just kind of lightly sketched her out with a pencil. And I think I'm gonna add a couple flowers here to her head. And they're just kind of like little spiral. All I'm doing is like shaky little spirals, nothing fancy. You can go ahead and erase a little bit to make it a little bit lighter if you want to. So I'm just gonna lighten up my lines a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna start dabbing in some water. I'm gonna do her little body first. So I'm just using generic filbert brushes. This is a size 9. They're no name brand brushes. And I'm just gonna get her little body here nice and wet. Not too much water though. You don't want it to start pooling in certain areas. You want to get a nice even coat. All right, I am going to pull in a little bit of my permanent rose, and I'm just going to start dabbing little areas of where I want some pink, and I'm just going to let it bleed. Now I did do this in the opposite way because this is wet on wet. I did do it the opposite way just to see what it would look like, and I did wet on dry. And then I just went in and added some water and stuff and just mixed it in there. I did not like that look. I liked the wet on wet much better, but you can do both if you want and see which way that you like a little bit better. I just like the unpredictable way that the paint just bleeds into each other. Add a little bit of yellow here and there. I'm still leaving a little bit of white space. So that was cad yellow. And now I'm picking up just some turquoise. I'm gonna dab it in, and of course, where it meets the pink, it turns purple, and where it meets the yellow, it turns green. I'm just gonna dab it in here and there. Not too much, maybe a little bit darker under her little head here, just to give a little shadow on her body, right under her head. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry. I'm not gonna go onto her face yet, but I will go on to her little ears. I'm gonna move down now to a size 7 filbert brush. And I'm just gonna do the same thing and just add a little bit of water just to that little ear right there. I'm gonna pick up the same colors. You can pick up any color you want. These are just the 3 colors I'm sticking with right now. So that was the Perm Rose. Here's a little of the Cad Yellow. It starts making a little bit of an orange color when those two mix. And then I'm gonna put in a little bit of my turquoise and let that mix. All right, wash off my brush and do the same thing to the other ear. Now I'm just doing the outside of the ears. I'm not doing the inside of the ear. The inside of the ear I want to be a little bit more pink. So I'm gonna leave that for last. Dab in a little bit of my perm, dab a little bit of the Cad Yellow, and then again the turquoise. Look at how it's bleeding beautifully down here. I love that look. It's just whimsical. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and dry this a little bit so I can go onto the head. Okay, so now I'm gonna start getting the head wet here with just some water. I'm gonna go around the eyes. I'm gonna go over the nose and the mouth. I'm gonna go around the eyes. And I'm gonna go around the flowers up here too on her head. So just get a little bit of water on her face. And then I'm gonna pick up the same colors. Just kind of start thinking about where you want maybe a little bit more pink, like on the nose or the cheeks. I think I'm gonna dab a little bit more pink in those areas. And then just around the cheeks here a little bit. So as you can see, she's starting to form. She's starting to take some shape. Add a little bit of my yellow here and there. And these aren't gonna bleed into each other because I already dried the body there. And now a little bit of my turquoise. Maybe a little bit more turquoise like under the flowers here, like the flowers were making a little shadow on her head. Maybe a little bit more on the neck here, like her chin area. Maybe around her eyes. And I'm going just a little bit more delicate with my colors around her little eyes and nose and stuff. You can always add more later. See how light that is going on? I'm gonna push it a little bit darker. You can always go darker. If there's not enough wet water on your paper, just add a little more water. Just dabbing it. And you can start forming these little cheeks if you want to. If you think that her little cheeks need to be a little bit wider and bigger. I'm gonna drop a little more water in there and blend it in to her cheeks. All right. And I'm gonna start putting the pink in her ears. Now this I'm not really wetting first. I'm just going in wet on dry, and I'm just adding a little bit of pink right in the inside of her ear. You can go as light or dark as you want, but again, I would start a little bit lighter. You can always add a little bit more later. Maybe a little bit more pink towards the bottom of the ear. That's cute. All right, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more pink to her cheeks. And her nose. Cute. All right, I'm gonna dry this really quick and we're gonna do the flowers. All right, so you can make your flowers any color you want. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna add some water. I'm just making like little C strokes with the brush in the water. I'm gonna pick up a little bit. I think I want these flowers to be a little bit more yellow. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of my cad yellow. It's the same yellow that I used on the body here. You can pick up any color you want. I'm just gonna dab that in. So I'm just kind of making a little blob at this moment. We're not giving it too much detail at this moment. Add a little bit more water on the second flower. And you could even do all three flowers different colors if you want. I'm just gonna choose the same. Little water, little yellow. All right. I'm gonna put in a little bit of my pink now. Actually, I'm gonna move now to a round brush, a size 2. I'm gonna do just kind of like a little spiral, a shaky little spiral right in the middle here. Kind of broken up lines. All 3. Look how this one's bleeding really pretty. This one, because obviously these two are more wet than the first one, because the first one dried a little bit. So these are bleeding a little bit more. Look how pretty. And you can just keep going around and deepening up your colors if you want. Just going in a circular motion, a spiral circular motion, really shaky. There. And you can bring them down onto the head. I'm gonna go a little bit further down, and then you can start defining the edges if you want to. This one I'll bring down a little bit. Starting to take some shape. Bring this one down, bring it up. Now this flower pretty much dried already, so I'm just going in with a little bit of water. Looks kind of funny without eyes right now, but once we pop in those eyes, it will definitely make sense and look really cute. You can add in any other color you want. I think I'm going to add in just a little bit of purple. And again, just water, just to soften up those lines a little bit. Just give it a little bit of detail here and there. There. All right, I'm going to dry it and then we're going to add another layer. All right, I'm going to pick up my number 2 brush again. And I'm going to go in with the pink, the permanent rose. I'm going to add a little bit more. And you can make these as big as you want. You can make them any color you want. You can make different kinds of flowers. You could put daisies in there. I just chose these like little rose type flowers. You could do daisies. There. All right. Super cute. Then if you want to bring in a little bit of greenery, you can. I'm just going to put a couple little leaves on here. I'm just using my number 2 brush with a little bit of sap green. Just going to put like a little leaf here or there. Doesn't even have to be that detailed, just a little bit of greenery here and there. Okay, cute. All right, I think I'm going to add a little bit of white. So I've got my bleed proof white, Dr. P.H. Martin, and I'm going to do just a little bit of white highlights in this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to dry it first, and then we're going to add some highlights. Okay, there's still parts of the flower that are damp, but that's okay. And I'm just going to dip my number 2 brush in and just give it some highlights here or there. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit of water to your brush, it would just make your bleed proof white a little bit more like a watercolor almost. So if you didn't want these distinct shaky lines like this and you wanted to bleed in a little bit more, just add a little bit of water. Maybe put a little bit of the bleed proof white on a palette and add a little water onto your palette and then just mix it in that way. That'd probably be the easiest way because you don't want to add water to your actual container here. So just take a little bit out, put it on a palette and add some water to it. All right. But I am just using it straight out of the little tube here. And I just wanted to go on kind of just a little bit, not as mixed in, a little bit more of a defined line. All right, so we added a little bit of detail to that. Now let's go ahead and do the eyes. So I'm gonna take my number 2 brush again. I'm gonna do a little Payne's gray. You could do black, you could do blue, you could do any color you want your little rabbit to have eyes, any color. And I'm just gonna kind of go along my little outline here. I'm gonna leave a little bit, we're gonna come in with a little bleed proof white or our gel pens for some white highlights in the eyes. So if you wanna fill it in all the way, you can. If you wanna leave some highlights, just the natural white paper, you could do that as well. I'm gonna try and leave a little white highlight like that. Do the other eye. Now, if you weren't able to leave a little highlight, don't worry. Like I said, we're going to go over this with some bleed proof white or our gel pens. And I don't have much water on my brush, just enough to just spread the paint around a little bit, but I didn't want this to be as watery. Okay, so I kind of got that kind of little shape eye. Rabbits have eyes more on the sides of their little heads. So that's why there's so much room between these little eyes. Again, just Google or Pinterest or whatever, a little rabbit face, and just kind of follow along with what you see. We didn't go ahead, or I should say, I didn't go ahead and do the whole body. I just wanted more of a portrait of the little bunny. I didn't want the whole bunny, but you can go ahead and do any shaped bunny you want. You could do even a cute one, maybe like if its back is turned towards you and all you see is the backside with the little puffy tail. That'd be really cute too. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more perm rose and define this rose, I should say. More of the perm rose and add it to the nose of the little bunny just define it a little bit more here. So I added a little bit there, and then I'm just going in with some water, bleeding it out. And you can make this nose any value you want. You could do a light pink, you could do a dark pink, you could do red, you could do orange, anything you want. It could be light or dark. All right, and I'm gonna add a little bit more to her cheeks, right here. I'm just going in with some water. After I lay down a little bit of paint, I'm going in with just some water. Okay, just add a little bit more to her face over here so it doesn't look like, just looks like it's blending in with the face a little bit. You might want to just bring it out a little bit. All right, I am gonna go ahead and, let's see. Actually, I wanna close up those little highlights in the eyes a little bit. I think they're just a little too big. Go ahead and close that up because we're gonna be adding more anyways. Cute. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dry her and we're gonna start, actually, you know what I wanna do first is I wanna do a little bit of a splatter paint in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think I want it to be my yellow. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get some white, or some water on my cad yellow and just kind of spray it on there. I'm just dabbing it on. Trying to go around my bunny a little bit, but if it gets on the bunny, that's all right. And I think I want a little bit more than that. So let's go. Now I'm doing this with a filbert brush, which I should really be doing it with a round brush. That's why it's not going on as much as I wanted to. So if you've got a round brush, do it with that instead. It definitely work better. All right, I'm going on with a little bit of my Perm Rose now. And if you wanted to, what you could do, if you like the look of it, but you wanted a little bit more of like a fuzzy look in the background, just go with some water and you can always just dab it in some of those little marks you just made. And it will just bring in a light little background. But it's still leaving some of the little splatter paint that I just did. I really like the look of the splatter paint there. But it just gave her a little bit of a background. All right, now I'm gonna dry her. All right, so I'm gonna take my Jelly Roll number 10 pen, it's white, and I'm just gonna put a couple more little highlights in her eyes. Just some little circles and little, like a little C curve down here. Anywhere you think that it needs a little highlight, just go ahead and pop on some highlights. All right, super cute. If you think that it needs more highlights in her little flowers, you could do that. I think I am gonna put in some whiskers in her little mouth now. So I'm gonna move over to my Micron size 3 pen. And I'm gonna do a little line under the nose and a little mouth, like that. And maybe just a little, like a little circle right here. Like her mouth is kind of open, but not really. All right, and then I'm gonna define her nose a little bit. I'm gonna just do a little C curve, maybe some little circles at the end for the little nostrils there. And I think I'm gonna do some whiskers. Make sure her face is nice and dry and that your background is nice and dry. And I'm just gonna pull in some little whiskers. You could do as many as you want. You could do some little dots on the cheeks like that. And I'm gonna pull some this way. And then again, some little dots. If you wanna go ahead and outline those flowers a little bit, you totally can. If you wanna go ahead and add a little bit of black, like a little bit of a defined line around her body, I'm just doing like a shaky little line, maybe around her face, under her little head here. I'll go around the ears a little bit. So all I'm doing is just a shaky little line. Just going around, just defining some of those little shapes on her head. Maybe I will do the flowers a little bit, just to pull it in with the rest of the painting. So I'm just going around in a circle, and maybe just more like in the middle here. So it's got like a little bit of a little spiral in the middle of that rose. Go around. So cute. All right. If you want to go around the leaves, you can. I don't think I want to go around the leaves. I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. Let's see, maybe this part of her ear as well, just to define this a little bit more. Wow, she's so cute. If you want to go ahead and add a little bit more paint under, you know, like around her face, you can. I'm going to leave mine kind of light. I did do one before, just to kind of practice before I showed you how I did it. See how different that this buddy looks? So you could do a painting a million times and it will always look different. I teach painting workshops, and I will do one painting like 7 different times for 7 different workshops, and it looks different every single time I do that painting. So even though I did both of these, they look so different. But so just, you can keep making them until you kind of get the one that you really, really like. So you could do that as well. But I just wanted to show you that they always end up looking a little bit different. But so this was my little whimsical rabbit. Again, just Google any image of little rabbits you like. You could do just the head, you could do the body, whatever you want. You can add the flowers, you don't have to. And just have fun with it. Just keep practicing and having fun with it. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you liked it and learned a little something. And if you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, and you can make a comment in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos like this one. Have a great day. Bye.